Welcome to this video on why most transformations stall at middle management. We will explore the hidden forces that derail organizational change at the critical middle layer. This video is brought to you by the Series of Thoughts team as part of their business management and digital transformation programs. This is the transformation paradox. Middle managers become the invisible bottleneck where momentum dies. This isn't a failure of commitment, but a systemic problem rooted in misaligned incentives and unclear accountability. Our research identifies 7 critical barriers that cause transformations to stall. These include the incentive mismatch, identity threat, information problem, and capacity trap. We will also look at the accountability fog, the cultural immune system, and the tooling gap. Barrier number 1 is the incentive mismatch. Executives demand innovation, but measurement and reward systems often remain unchanged, focusing on operational stability and punishing necessary risks. The system rewards predictable delivery, risk avoidance, and operational excellence. When performance management conflicts with innovation speeches, managers rationally follow the system. This creates the double bind. Managers face an impossible choice: pursue the transformation and risk missing KPIs, or protect their numbers and ignore the change mandate. This is a design problem, not a communication problem. Barrier number 2 is the identity threat. Transformation challenges fundamental assumptions about what makes a manager competent. The implicit message is that their hard-won expertise is now obsolete. When expertise becomes a liability, it triggers a competence crisis and a loss of control. Managers feel like beginners again and experience a loss of status, which triggers defensive responses. Resistance is a predictable human response to perceived threats to professional identity. Organizations must acknowledge this psychological dimension, or transformation will trigger defensive reactions. Barrier number 3 is the frozen middle information problem. Middle managers filter information, leading to a dangerous illusion of alignment. Critical information rarely reaches the top intact. Information gets distorted due to conflict avoidance, self-preservation, and oversimplification. Managers filter bad news to avoid appearing negative or to protect their careers. This creates a massive strategy execution gap. While 67% of executives believe their strategy is clear, only 23% of middle managers report clarity on implementation. This distortion causes different mental models across the organization. Barrier number 4 is the capacity trap. Middle managers are already at capacity with business as usual responsibilities. Transformation arrives as an additional mandate, framed as extra work with no reduction in existing duties. Manager workloads are divided between existing operations and administrative burden. The transformation is an add-on, requiring new learning and coaching, all without freed up capacity. When everything is priority 1, managers choose survival, prioritizing operational performance over investing in change. Transformation stalls because managers try to squeeze it into the margins. Barrier number 5 is the accountability fog. The transformation is important, but clear ownership for making critical trade-offs is missing. This vacuum means no one knows who has the authority to resolve conflicts. Accountability fog manifests as announcements without authority, shared responsibility theater, and steering committee paralysis. This lack of clarity prevents necessary changes from being resolved. When everyone is responsible, no one is responsible. Middle managers, caught in the crossfire, prioritize what is measured and rewarded, causing transformation to stall. Barrier number 6 is the cultural immune system. Managers often resist, not to obstruct change, but to protect their teams from poorly planned or under-resourced disruption. They revert to familiar habits when pressure rises. This is protective resistance. Managers buffer chaos by filtering organizational noise to maintain stability and morale. In survival mode, they allow old processes to continue, creating a shadow organization. The immune system activates due to poorly designed change, a trust deficit from past failures, or team loyalty. When forced to choose, managers prioritize their immediate team over abstract goals. Barrier number 7 is the tooling and training gap. Organizations ask managers to lead differently without teaching them how. The assumption that operational excellence translates to guiding disruption is incorrect. The learning gap is evident in insufficient system rollout training, one-day workshops for complex process changes, lack of change management training, and expecting coaching without providing coaching skills. We ask people to operate complex new machinery without the manual. The tooling and training gap is about organizations systematically underinvesting in capability building while raising performance expectations. These 7 barriers don't operate in isolation. They compound and reinforce each other. They create a system designed to stall transformation at the middle management layer. For example, the incentive mismatch increases capacity pressure. Lack of capacity prevents skill building, widening the training gap, which then intensifies the identity threat, leading to defensive information filtering, and so on. To understand where your organization stands, ask diagnostic questions about incentive alignment, identity support, information flow, and capacity reality. Be honest in your assessment. Further diagnostic questions cover accountability clarity, cultural resistance, and capability investment. Assess if managers know who resolves trade-offs and if you are adequately funding skill development. Moving from diagnosis to action requires different choices. Successful transformation demands redesigning the organizational system to make change the path of least resistance. Essential system redesigns include realigning incentives to reward transformation behaviors, addressing identity by celebrating new skills, fixing information flow for unfiltered reality, and creating capacity by eliminating existing work. More essential redesigns are clarifying accountability with explicit decision rights, investing in capability through ongoing training, and designing better change initiatives that are well-resourced from the start. Senior executives must recognize that the frozen middle is a system design problem requiring executive ownership. Transformation stalls because the system makes success nearly impossible. The question is, how do we redesign the system to make change possible? The key takeaways are that this is a system problem, not a people problem. The 7 distinct barriers require different solutions, and executive ownership of system redesign is non-negotiable. Use the diagnostic questions to assess your organization and prioritize system redesigns that address root causes. Fix the system, and you fix the transformation.